Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kiwanis Family 201 webinar. We'll be starting in a minute or two, so just hang tight in the meantime while you wait. I know you guys want to hear a joke, so I'm going to give you guys a joke. What do you call an alligator wearing a vest? An investigator. Yeah. We'll be getting started in just a minute or two. Hang tight. Thank you so much for coming, and we can't wait to get started with y'all. Okay, it's time to start our webinar. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kiwanis Family 201 webinar, the December webinar from the District Kiwanis Family and Foundation Committee. My name is Nick Stringfellow. I serve as the Workshops and Webinars Coordinator on the District Kiwanis Family and Foundation Committee. On behalf of our committee and all of our hosts, thank you so much for spending the time during your holiday break to spend some time with us and learn more about the Kiwanis family. The Kiwanis family is definitely something that can be worked on year-round, and with 2017 just being days away of this recording, I'm very excited to have everyone tuning in just to learn more ways to get involved with the Kiwanis family as we enter the new year and finish off the term on a high note. So before we get started, just a couple administrative things. First, we have our sign-in link in order to be counted for credit. Go to tinyurl.com/KFF webinar sign-in. From there, you can put down your name, your division, email, and which webinar you're attending, and you'll be counted from there. Please make sure to sign yourself in ASAP, so that way you can have that all set, ready to go, and can get your credit for attending today. And then we also have a question submission form, which is a great way for you to ask any questions. We will have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So if you do have any questions, click on that link or type that link into your browser, go to there, fill out our form, and we will address your questions during the Q&A session. The link to the questions form is going to be at the bottom of every slide. So in case you forget the link, it's going to be right there for you. I recommend submitting your questions as soon as possible. Whenever they pop up, type it in before you forget it. We're here to give as much knowledge as possible about our Kiwanis family programs and our content for today. So if any questions at all, any clarifications, ask it, and we'll be all ready to go. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to our hosts, Rafa, Hershey, and Lindon. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's webinar for Kiwanis Family 201.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Rafa. I'm a third year at Cal State Fullerton. So my Kiwanis family experience is last year I was the vice president of service for our club, and this year I'm the Kiwanis family chair. And this is my fifth year in the Kiwanis family. I was in Key Club for 2 years, my last 2 years in high school, and this is my third year in Circle K. And my favorite part about Kiwanis Family Relations is the interesting and inspiring individuals I get to meet every time.
Hi everyone, my name is Hershey. I'm a fourth year at San Diego State. So some of my Kiwanis family experience, during the 2014-2015 term, I was the Vice President of Service as well as part of the District Service Committee. During 2015-2016, I was the Paradise San Diego Executive Assistant. This year I am the Kiwanis Family Chair for my home club, and this is my 8th year in the Kiwanis family. This is my, again, 4th year in Circle K and 4 years of Key Club in high school. My favorite part of the Kiwanis family relations is connecting with so many individuals who share the same passion for service.
Hi guys, my name is Lindon. I'm a third year at UCLA. This is my 7th year in the Kiwanis family, so I've been in the Kiwanis family since I was a freshman in high school. A little bit about my Kiwanis family experience. Last year, I was the Kiwanis Family Youth Chair for my club, and I was also serving on the District Kiwanis Family Committee. And this year, I'm serving on the District Kiwanis Family and Foundations Committee. And my favorite part of working with the Kiwanis family is being able to see members of all ages find joy in service.
Okay, so before we begin with the webinar, we're just going to review over the Kiwanis family branches. So beginning with K-Kids. K-Kids is a service leadership program, which is also a SLP for elementary school students, so kindergarten through 6th grade. It is student-led like us, but mostly a lot of the teachers will be spearheading a lot of their events because they are minor or very young students. And then we have Builders Club, which is an SLP for middle school and junior high school students, so very similar to K-Kids, except they are most likely 6th through 8th grade or 7th through 8th grade. We also have Key Club, which is probably the more well-known branches of the Kiwanis family. It is an SLP for high school students, and this also includes Kiwins, which is a district of Key Club. And then we have Kiwanis, which is the main branch for adults. So anyone from 18 years old and on. They can, so even Circle Cares can join Kiwanis as well. They obviously sponsor a lot of all the SLPs that we have. And then we have Action Club, which is an SLP for adults with disabilities.
Okay, so why build Kiwanis family relations? One way, or why we should, is to take on leadership opportunities by working with other parts of the Kiwanis family outside of Circle K. So one way we can do this is, one way this can be beneficial for members is by being a part of the committee and helping plan events with the different branches. What my home club personally does is have the VPS and the KFM chair collaborate and brainstorm ideas of different services we can do with them. For example, Kiwanis or Key Club. You can also get a fuller experience of what Circle K is through seeing all sides of our organization. This could be beneficial to not only newer members, but members who don't have a background of what the Kiwanis family is, as well as how it works in the different branches. For example, I know, people can say, I know what we can do, but how does Key Club or Builders Club do this? So by building these relations, we can see the commonality we have with the branches. Lastly, it provides a strong support system between you and the other KFM counterparts. For example, my Kiwanis Club sponsors and funds SLPs, and how Circle K helps educate Key Clubs colleges and through Key to College. Also, a way that Kiwanis can support members individually is by Kiwanians becoming life mentors for Circle K members and introducing them to job fields that they have experience or knowledge in. Speaking from personal experience, I've developed a strong relationship with my Kiwanis advisor. Throughout the 4 years I've known her, she's become a mother figure in my life and also become an outlet for me to vent and rely on, whether it's about Circle K, school, or my life in general.
So how can I improve my Kiwanis family relations? Well, to make sure our Kiwanis family relations are well-rounded, we have an acronym that highlights our 6 main points that we'll be discussing in this webinar. So communication, innovation, reevaluation, collaboration, leaving a legacy, and education are all tools and strategies that will help your clubs and members rethink and build upon your relationships with different branches of the Kiwanis family. So our first point is communication, and this is really key in building strong Kiwanis family relations. So we're going to be talking about emails, in-person interactions, and meeting visitations. And the first topic we're going to cover is emails. So emails are probably the most important tool for communication that we have, especially within the Kiwanis family. It's often hard in person when it comes to multiple branches of the Kiwanis family because our Kiwanis family spans across a very large age, and everyone has different schedules and they're at different points in their lives. So emailing makes things a lot easier for everyone involved, and it's very convenient. It's at your laptop, at your fingertips. You have access to it almost everywhere you go on your phone. You're able to remain professional while effectively communicating about what you need to plan. So if you're contacting someone for the first time and you want to leave a good impression and you want to professional, emails are definitely a good tool that you can use because you don't have to worry about posture or how you look or what vocabulary you're using. And with emails, you can proofread and look over it before you send it off as well. And of course, it's efficient. Instead of waiting until you see someone to discuss a particular topic, you can just shoot an email instead, and it's a lot faster and they can respond to you at their next convenient time. So next is in person. Interacting in person is really crucial to building a strong relationship. Once emails and planning are out of the way, it's important to establish and maintain a strong relationship with the branch of the Kiwanis family that you're reaching out to. And the best way to do this is actually to interact in person with other branches. If you think about it, it's very hard to foster a relationship online through emails alone. So sure, like some clubs have established pen pal systems and mentorship programs that can supplement their relationship, but ultimately meeting up in person and being able to physically interact is the best way to establish that connection. And especially if you're a club that already has an established Kiwanis family relationship with local Kiwanis family clubs in your area, and you want to build upon it and make them stronger, definitely interacting in person is the way to go. Seeing each other in person by planning joint service projects, some of which we will discuss later in the webinar, visiting meetings, and inviting each other to service projects or meetings. And lastly, of course, a very standard way to communicate and to keep in touch is through meeting visitations. And these are a great way to just update each other on what each branch is doing. It's also a great way to meet up in person, interact, and communicate and get to know each other. So for example, if my club has an upcoming service or project that I want to invite my sponsoring Kiwanis club to, I can visit their Kiwanis meeting, give an update about the project, give the details, let them know that we're excited to have the project and that we want them to come and that they're all very welcome to come, and invite them personally. Or perhaps if you have a pen pal system that you want to start up with your local builders club, the best way that you can advertise and actually get the system implemented in the club is by visiting and telling them yourself, because who else knows more about the program than you do? And it's really good to be there in person to show how excited you are so that the kids can get excited as well. So things to keep in mind when you're communicating, so our age and generation differences, time of day, and obviously finding a common interest and building upon it. So whether you're talking to adults or elementary school students, you want to keep your audience in mind. You're no longer communicating with college students, so you might need to change your vocabulary or what you're trying to discuss. So for example, if you're talking to like a Kiwanian, you might want to try to like avoid referencing memes and using slang and all that stuff. But in contrast, if you're talking to like a K-Kids member, you might want to avoid using like big words, and you might want to find common points of interest, such as like sports or hobbies or stuff that's happening in pop culture and stuff like that. Something that I like to keep in mind is the time of day, and this is just a general rule of thumb that I follow by. But when sending emails, I try to avoid sending them out late at night, because while we might still be up and active at like 1 or 2 a.m., other people might not be. They're probably asleep trying to like get ready for the day ahead. And as a courtesy, I only send emails during the time of day that most people are awake. This isn't like a standard rule, but this is just something I follow by as a courtesy. So it's always up to you. But lastly, just find a common interest and build upon it. It's really important to build relationships with the members you meet outside of just Kiwanis family related topics, getting to know them as a person and what they like, and how they work and how they see the world and their goals and their ambitions, all that stuff will definitely help your relationship between the branches. And one great thing about the Kiwanis family is that we're able to network with people of all ages and make lifelong friends that we may not have otherwise met. So definitely take the opportunity to get to know people when you're going out and interacting with them and visiting their meetings and service projects.
Okay, so the next topic we'll be covering is improving through innovation. So it is important to find new ways to strengthen the bond with Kiwanis family, because sometimes you'll see that the old way isn't just working out anymore, and because of the way clubs change, there will be new generations of Circle Cares and new generations of Kiwanis or Key Clubbers, and so on. So it's important to keep things fresh and new. So if you want to improve your relationship or improve Kiwanis family awareness, your club can start doing spotlights on different members in the Kiwanis family. So you could have like a dedicated slide for a specific person, whether they be from Kiwanis, Key Club, Action Club, and have that slide include something like who the person is, obviously, what they do, or what hobbies they have, what are their goals, or why they joined the Kiwanis family. And then if you want to improve recognition or appreciation with your Kiwanis family, you can have appreciation dinners for your Kiwanis family branches. So something that Cal State Fullerton does is have a yearly Kiwanis appreciation dinner at the end of the term. So we can just celebrate the relationship that we have kept with our Kiwanians. So we have like awards, we have a slideshow about all the events that we have lots of games. One thing that I was really surprised about that we did last year was that everyone is really into playing bingo. It got really intense towards the end, but it was really fun, and we got to bond and share some good laughs with each other through that. So that's a really good way of improving your relationship with your Kiwanis family members. And then you could also have a mentorship program with Key Clubbers, so to help guide them through or guide them into transitioning into college. But you could also have a mentorship program between Kiwanians and Circle Cares. This could help establish a one-on-one connection between Kiwanians and Circle Cares, and also Key Clubbers and Circle Cares, and then help develop ourselves professionally.
Okay, so reevaluating to success. One way we can do this is by reflecting on what we have done already in terms of communication and collaboration, and see what can be improved and strengthened. For example, my home club interaction with Key Club was basically non-existent until this year, and I made the initiative to go out to their meetings and events to make it known that Circle K is a thing and that we're here to basically help them with whatever we can. Because of this new interaction, my club was invited to do more services and socials hosted by the Key Club, and our members' interaction with that branch increased, as well as our members became more genuinely wanting to get to know them. Lastly, look at past events and see what worked, what these events can lead to, and other types of interactions look to improve/incorporate those ideas. I wanted to improve the interaction between Circle K and Key Club, so I partnered up with the district Key Leader coordinator, who is from San Diego, and together we came up with an event similar to Key to College and Circle K's CKI North and South, and this event basically helped bridge the gap between us and get to know more about the two organizations and generally bond with each other.
Awesome. So collaboration between SLPs. In order to maintain and grow a healthy relationship, effort from both sides is needed. Growth is a two-way street. It's not really effective to try to grow your Kiwanis family relations or build upon them when it's one-sided and both sides aren't really on the same page. So definitely communicate about your goals and relationship to be on the same page so that both sides communicate you guys know how you want to grow during the term and how you wish to accomplish your set goals. So some ways to work together include planning service projects, hosting programs for members to interact, and networking. So the first way is to plan service events by getting into contact with the branch of the Kiwanis family that you're trying to connect with and ask about planning or hosting a joint service project together. So sure, it may be easier to plan your own service project and simply invite the other branch out, but by planning a project together, you allow for more opportunities for leadership growth and interaction between those involved. And you're able to work with the other members and get to know their leadership styles, which will help you in the future for when you need to plan other events or other projects. If you're really serious about trying to grow your relationship and build upon your connection between the branches, it'll allow you to have experience working with those members already so that when you're trying to plan future programs or future events, you'll already know what their leadership styles are like and how you can adjust to make the experience better and more efficient for everyone. In addition, when you allow the other branch to contribute, they're more inclined to send members to the event. So when you contribute to a project, you want to see the project succeed. So if they're contributing to the service project, they may try harder to advertise the event and reach out to their members, which is good because then you'll have more members that you can interact with and establish a relationship with and get to know. So secondly, you can host programs for members to get to know each other better. So you can work together to try to implement programs such as pen pal systems, mentorship systems, or shadowing programs that will help members of both sides get to know each other more on a personal level. And some things you may want to keep in mind when trying to plan a program include the age difference again, and their schedules and availabilities. So for example, if you're trying to implement a pen pal system between your club and a local K-Kids club, for example, you may want to set like guidelines for what is appropriate to be put in the correspondences and the letters. And it's really up to you how you want to design the system and how you want to spread out the time between each correspondence. So for example, Kiwanians may have a different schedule than college students. So trying to set up a time at like midnight or like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m., something too late may not be as appropriate as like setting a time between, I don't know, sometime during the day where it's easier for both sides to meet up and interact. And lastly, networking. As we said earlier, networking is a really cool aspect of the Kiwanis family. And by networking and getting to know the members of the clubs, you're establishing connections that you can build upon in the future. And just like making those connections and having these relationships that exist outside of just administrative purposes will help you so much in building your Kiwanis family relationship. For example, if you have a good relationship with the Kiwanians in your club, that goes beyond them simply knowing you because you email them with updates or you're asking them to come out to service projects, they'll be more inclined to help you out with projects and come to meetings in the future because they know you personally and they know your goals and how you are. And in addition, lots of Circle K members struggle with trying to find the importance of the Kiwanis family, but it's okay. Try to help convince them how beneficial the Kiwanis family can be by letting them know about networking. I know that our home club struggled sometimes with trying to get members to come out to different KFF meetings like Kiwanis meetings and Builders Club meetings, but just really try to push the aspect of networking and getting to making connections with people that can help you in the future and that can help your club members be more motivated to come out to Kiwanis family events.
Okay, so now we'll be covering establishing a legacy. It's important to establish a legacy for your club to ensure that we'll have a continuous relationship for your Kiwanis family. So some examples of having or establishing legacies is if your club has never done a key to college before or a pen pal system, a mentorship program with the other Kiwanis branches, you can create these programs and to establish that relationship to be held for the long run. And your club could also build upon these things for the next upcoming years. When you establish or when you continue to keep these relationships with the Kiwanis family, you will make a great impact on the other people in the family. So you will have inspired like young kids such as Key Clubbers, Builders Club, and K Kids to be a part of something bigger than yourselves. If you set that example for them, showing them that you're dedicated to service, maybe they'll also dedicate their life to serving others. And then Circle Cares may also be inspired by Kiwanians when you establish these programs such as like Keto Life or the mentorship program, as I mentioned before, because Kiwanis may inspire you to achieve something you never thought of doing, like career-wise, or provide you with new opportunities, or like an internship, or even a job opportunity.
Okay, lastly, we can improve our Kiwanis family relations through education. One way we can members is by helping understand how Circle K came to be. This would be kind of like a history lesson with how it all started with Kiwanis and them sponsoring different leadership programs like Circle K, Key Club, etc. It also gives a face to a name, showing what the Kiwanis family is rather than just hearing about it. By educating members, it shows how the different SLPs intersect and how important the Kiwanis family is. We can also see an evolution of Kiwanis by understanding how things are done. It's cool and interesting how the different branches take on the same concept of service and Kiwanis in general, but carry out the idea differently. For example, how Rafa mentioned in an earlier slide, the branches have different levels of responsibilities and events that they can handle. K-Kids being primarily led by a teacher, then getting stronger with builders, having a board, and it just developing even more in Key Club and Circle K. And just having this understanding helps develop more of like our understanding of what Circle K is. And education can also be taught more innovatively. For example, facts about the different branches can be presented through some type of game show, fun fact of the week, trivia, etc. So an idea I've wanted to implement in my home club is by sharing a fun fact about the Kiwanis family to different branches. And basically, like the following week, I would ask members if they remembered what it was, and if they got it correct, they would receive a small prize and/or a raffle or an extra raffle ticket. Lastly, we can learn from the branches themselves through visitation and presentation. For example, when I visited my Key Club that is also sponsored by my Kiwanis, they had us introduce ourselves and give a little spiel about what Circle K is and what our club does. After our introduction, the president introduced herself and gave us a little background of what Key Club was, which was very helpful for members who weren't exposed to it in high school.
So next we're going to be talking about different Kiwanis family programs that your clubs can implement, starting with programs with younger branches such as K-Kids and Builders Club. So like we mentioned earlier, some programs that you can implement include pen pal systems, tabletop service projects, and working with local schools and clubs. So for the pen pal systems, very basic, you just pair up a member from your club with a member from the other club, and then set up a time for them or set up a schedule for them to correspond either by writing letters or by meeting up in person or meeting up online, something like that. Another idea is tabletop service projects. This is especially useful for the younger branches because they're a little bit more liable because they are minors and they do rely on their parents a lot, and their schedules are pretty fixed based on their school schedule. So they're not really able to go out too far and volunteer at projects, at service events such as like marathons or at the soup kitchen or early in the morning at the homeless shelter and stuff like that. But what you can do is bring the service project to them. And this tabletop service projects really come in handy because you're able to help them find, passion in service in the comfort of their own classroom. And you can always come up with really cool tabletop service projects. And even if you think you can't, you can always reuse an old one that you might find boring, but they'll find pretty new because for a lot of them, this is their first exposure to service. So anything that you show them and that they might find interest in can really help spark a passion for in service for the rest of their years in high school, in college, etc. And another example is to work with local schools and clubs. So you can reach out to local schools in the area. So for example, for our local Builders Club, our faculty advisor reached out to local elementary schools to see if the Builders Club members were able to help out with after-school programs like tutoring and playing sports and stuff like that. So one of their meetings and one of their service projects was actually to walk to a local elementary school that wasn't too far from their middle school. And they actually had the chance to work with elementary school students and tutor them on their homework. And some of them played sports with them outside. And it was a really good experience for everyone involved. And it was a lot of fun, especially for the Circle K members who came out, because they don't have a lot of chances to play with kids and work with kids like that. And it's something that the Circle K members like a lot, but the Builders Club members, they also like it because they don't really have the opportunity to work with elementary school students either. And they have the chance to kind of like feel like older and like act kind of cool. So it's a lot of fun when with all branches of the Kiwanis family.
Okay, so next we'll be talking about programs for Key Clubbers. So the first one we'll be talking about is Key to College. So if you guys don't know, Key to College is basically a one-day event where filled with workshops discussing preparing for college. So any talking about college admission essays, or talking about financial aid, what to expect in your first year of college, and so on. This is a really great event to help Key Clubbers or any high school students prepare for college. If your club already has this program, I highly recommend you host a workshop for your club's Key to College, because you really can make an impact on these high school students. I remember this year after our Key to College, one of the high school students came up to me and said that my advice stuck with them, is going to stick with them the most. So that was really great to hear, that I can make an impact on them. So I definitely recommend that. You could also have a mentorship program with Key Clubbers. So this is kind of like also helping them prepare for college, but more on a one-on-one basis. So they could directly come to you for help on college admissions essays, or just knowing if they're unsure which college to go to, or any questions that they have with that. And also your club could also have college essay reviews. So basically having a day dedicated to reviewing college admission essays from high school students. So they'll come in and they'll give it to you, kind of like have a mini workshop, or having but this will be more one-on-one, and yeah.
Okay, and now programs with adult branches. So one of the things that your club can do is help and support Kiwanis One Day. So this is basically a day each year where Kiwanis clubs around the world join in a day of service. Other branches from the Kiwanis family like Circle K, Key Club, Builders Club, K Kids, and others also come out and show their support by attending this event. Another thing that your club can do is host career panels, or this is a program that can be beneficial to Circle K members. This is a way for Kiwanis to showcase careers that they have knowledge in and or experience in, and this basically gives members opportunities to get background on certain careers and hope to help in the future and figure out what career path is right for them. Another event that you can do, or like another program you can do, is Key to Life. So this is a program based from the education basis for Key to College, but instead of us educating other branches, it's Kiwanians educating us about the different skills and pieces of information that will help us after graduation. For example, some topics include professional skills and networking, finances, general life skills, and grad school and more. Lastly, you can also do a spaghetti/appreciation dinner. This is a little bit of something that Rafa had touched upon in one of the slides. So this is basically another program we can do with the adult branches, and it's a way for us to show how thankful and appreciative we are of them. So my home club hosts a spaghetti dinner for our sponsoring Kiwanis Club yearly, typically at the end of our term, to show our appreciation for them as well as support that they've given us for, again, that term.
So finally, to kind of wrap up our webinar and bring everything around full circle, remember, if you want to build strong Kiwanis family relations to communicate, innovate, reevaluate, collaborate, leave a legacy, and educate. And some programs with other branches that you can implement and plan include pen pal systems, tabletop service projects, key to college, and career panels with your club.
Okay, so now we're going to move into the Q&A session part of our webinar today. So as I said in the beginning, we do have a form for you to submit questions if you'd like our host to answer them about anything we talked about in the webinar, any specific programs you want to see, any clarification on any of the points we talked about, literally anything that's related to the webinar, we can answer for you. The link is KFF Webinars Questions, the tiny URL link listed at the bottom of the slide. So type that in. We will spend some time answering questions. Yeah, so fire away. And once we have questions, we will unmute our mics and address them, okay? So make sure to submit if you have any questions at all, and we got you. We got you. Okay, we're going to give 2 more minutes to submit questions. Please submit them if you have any. If not, we will move on and wrap up the webinar. But if you have anything, while we're all here as a resource for you, please ask a question and we got you covered. Please remember to submit at the form and we will address them once we get them in. So yeah, 2 more minutes and then we will move on, okay? Yeah. All right, we'll be taking questions for 1 more minute. This is your last chance to submit those questions. All right, so it seems that everyone's got the material down pretty well. If you do have any more questions about anything we discussed, please contact the host, which we'll put in the next slide. Yeah. So with that, thank you all for coming to our webinar for Kiwanis Family 201. We're very, very thankful that you all were able to take some time out of your schedules this holiday break and spend time with us talking about the Kiwanis family. Hopefully you all learned something new about the Kiwanis family, maybe a new insight, maybe a new product idea, maybe a new way to look at the Kiwanis family. Whatever you may have taken away from this webinar, we are very thankful that you are here in the first place. Kiwanis family education is a big thing about our committee, the KFF committee, and with these hosts, I think they did a wonderful job in explaining different ways that you can get more involved with the Kiwanis family above just knowing what they are. So the contact information for all the hosts are on the slides. So make sure to check it out. If you have any questions for them, this webinar has been recorded, so it will be on the CNH Circle K YouTube channel. So if you ever want to take a look back at this, maybe there's something you heard that, oh wait, I remember hearing about this in the Kiwanis Family 201 webinar. So look back at that if you ever want to re-reference this webinar. And if you have any questions, contact the host, contact me. You can also contact Joseph Madrigal, our District Kiwanis Family and Foundation Chair. If you have any questions at all about the Kiwanis family, also talk to your KFAM chairs, your liaisons from this district committee. Really, anyone is a great resource just to learn more about the Kiwanis family, because the Kiwanis family really brings us all together. So also remember, make sure to sign in. KFF webinar sign in. Webinar sign in, not webinar sign in. Make sure to sign in so you can get credit for attending today's webinar. Other than that, we are all wrapped up. Thank you everyone so much for being here today. And we'll see you next month in January for our next webinar, which will talk about Kiwanis family and professional development. So that'll be fun. So make sure to come out. It'll be great. And we will see you all soon. For all of y'all who are attending Go West, have fun. And we can't wait to see you all next month for our next webinar from the District Kiwanis Family Foundation Committee. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful night.